guys, welcome back to the Color Plan podcast. Today we have a strategy for you guys that is going to guarantee you growth. It's to do with social media and it is to do with inputs and outputs, Jess.
Yeah, inputs and outputs. It does seem a little bit technical and a bit hard to wrap your head around on the surface, but I guarantee you it's actually really straightforward. So inputs, what those are, Jack, are literally the posts that you do each week. So if you want to do 5 posts a week, two photos, 3 reels, they are your inputs. And your outputs are literally the results that come from each individual or weekly, return. So I'll give you an example. If you post 1 photo, that's the input. If it gets 50 likes, 5 comments and 20 shares, there's your outputs. Mm-hmm. And we're all about measuring those. So this is the number one point we want to make today. A lot of you are out there doing the hard work, getting the post up, but so many of you, and I'm not going to lie, including us till very recently, haven't actually been measuring those outputs and figuring out what works. Because at the end of the day, what we're really striving to do is create as little input for as big output as possible.
Yeah, so Jess, with inputs and outputs, it's extremely important to get very, very specific with those and define what they are. So by doing so, 1 post, 1 story, you're tracking tangible metrics like views, shares, maybe store sessions on your website. These are all very specific outputs that lead to outcomes. It's very important to keep those narrow and I suppose measure those over a long period, because as you're measuring those, you're going to see which ones maybe don't move the needle at all. Maybe likes, it's like, it doesn't matter how many likes we get in a post, it doesn't lead to more sales, no matter if it's 1,000 or it's 10. So maybe you throw that one out and you start measuring something else. So knowing what to measure is the game, I suppose. And so Jess, what does that look like for us right now at Color Plan?
I think giving people a rundown of what we're implementing here at Color Plan is going to really help. Mm-hmm. I know for me, it took me at least a week to wrap my head around these inputs and outputs. This strategy I'm going to run you through is just for our Instagram. There is different tables for LinkedIn and TikTok, but to keep this nice and concise, let's run through our Instagram. So overall, we're committing to 4 posts a week. So that could be in the form of a reel, a carousel, these aren't story related. We all know our stories are pretty random and those just fly off the cusp. We like it like that, and I think our customers do, but these are our grid posts. So we have 1 related post to the podcast per week. Typically, we like that post to be a guest post, which will typically be in the form of a carousel, where you'll see the Pantone thumbnail we've been doing, and you'll swipe across and you'll see a photo with us and the guest. We like this post more than the solo episode content we post because we get a cross-flow of audience from the guest, and overall, we've seen a far larger return and in the output.
Yeah, I suppose quick note on that one. That is an example of us measuring the outputs, from this first 8 months of the podcast, posting about it, is we found that those posts with a guest go far better and, maybe lead to more tangible results rather than posting just an individual ep of me and you.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, you don't want to saturate your content. You don't want to just post for the sake of posting. At the end of the day, there's so much content out there. You want to come with a level of quality. Don't get me wrong, it's important to try things. And that leads me to the next 3 posts that we do. We're going to lean into posting a female and male model, ideally once per week as well. We also have a push to post more garment related posts, whether that's like a flat lay or whether that's just a more close-up shot on a model. And we would love to play with a reel that sort of encapsulates a few of those different components as well. So there are 4 different posts. We are very early days here. I would love to give you a little bit more analytics surrounding these latter ideas, but it will take us a while to draw out and see what works. But it's important to note here, what we're trying to do is work smarter, not harder. We want to make sure we're committing to the least amount of input for the largest return of outputs.
Yep. So those are the 4 inputs that we've got going into Instagram at the minute in terms of posts. Outputs, what are some outputs that we're measuring? Like, what do you look for from a post or, that you put on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, we at the moment have a sort of hype model drop. Typically, we don't have many clothes online for our retail business. It's very different with our wholesale. We do try stay in stock a lot more there to supply the need for businesses. So the funnel looks like this, Jack. typically likes and comments are at the start of the funnel, and then people might share. That's probably the middle. So we get some shares to people that don't know about our brand, and then there'll be an overall impressions on a post. So they're probably the social media analytics we look at. From there, that'll also come across on Shopify to things like store sessions, how long people are spending, what they're putting in their carts. These are all things we're measuring, and you can directly see those from a post. So you know if you posted at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night and at 7:05 you had 5 things added to a cart, you know that's directly from that post.
Yeah. It's worth looking into softwares like Google Analytics is a huge one that we've honestly just started using recently. You know, if you're getting all this data from all your hard work, you may as well use it and have it, in an easily digestible place. And Google Analytics does that. Shopify Analytics, Instagram Analytics, they're all good. Export all that, get it in, CSVs and scan through it and try to find relationships. Finding out what to measure, coming back to the start, what you measure is so important. If you're measuring the wrong, if we were to measure the wrong things for, the next 12 months, we could be doing ourselves such a disservice.
I agree.
Rather than going through all of that, figuring out, okay, that doesn't really matter. This matters. Let's measure this. Where we're going to be in 12 months is going to be far different.
I think the most important analytic as well, just to conclude on that, is sales. For us, we're still early on in the retail game where we can relate. At wholesale, though, we've definitely seen sales come. A good example was our giveaway with small businesses. We had, 10 or 20 companies sign up within that sort of 24, 48 hours to our wholesale through coming and trying to join in on the giveaway. So that was a great measurement. And I think we will definitely run another small business giveaway in the future because we saw that return. So analytics are crucial. Remember, everything's about the process of refinement. For instance, with that small business giveaway, could have we gathered more traction through giving away a bigger prize? And that's what we'll try next time and see. And we'll have 2 different pieces, 2 different outputs to measure. And that's all this is, the process of refinement to leverage a bigger outcome from your input.
Yep, correct. That's all we got.
Thanks, guys.